So, State of Origin night, and we've got lots of people logged on, including all these mums. I know it's school holidays. I know it's winter. I know all the kids are sick because I've got sick ones myself. I get it all. But thank you for committing the next half an hour to yourself and to your business. So, really excited. This is our special guest call. We have once a month, and we have the most amazing guest for you. You'll see this lady. She's popping up everywhere at the moment. She's one of our keynote speakers at Summer Kickoff, and you may or may not have heard of her, but definitely in the future you will. A lady I came across maybe 18 months ago in New Zealand. I was like, who is that? And I have just watched her grow and grow and grow. So when she started this business, she had a little daughter, Lola, who was 1, and Addie, her son, who was 3. In her past lives, she's been a lawyer. She's also was a PT when she started Isogenics. She's currently sitting at a 5-star Golden Circle, 4-star Crystal Executive. So she's making leaders in her organization. But what I think is the most incredible thing that I can tell you about her is that in the last 12 months, her business has grown over 300%. So that is a massive growth. And I want to introduce her. She's from Adelaide. Her name is Lara Nicholls. Welcome, Lara. Thank you for coming on to the call.
My pleasure. Thanks, everyone. If you can hear my kids like running around in the background, school holidays, so they're still up racing around everywhere. I've like bolted the door so they can't come in.
Yeah. So thank you again for giving up your time. And I know you do have little kids in the background as well, but we obviously just want to know what the hell you're doing. And I know you gave a little bit of a secret away when we were at UAA. You really touched on 3-way calls, and I've been doing a lot of work with my team about 3-way calls, and they've definitely picked up and people are definitely getting results, but we really want to get down to, I guess, the nitty gritty. So tonight we really want to focus on that. But I guess before we start, you know, some of the people do know you, Lara, and some people don't. So could you just give us a brief rundown on how you got started with Isogenics?
Sure. So I'll give you the super brief version. So as Heidi said, I've been a PT in here in Adelaide about 14 years. Had my kids at 37 and 39, had prolapse when I had Lola, meant I couldn't do any exercise whatsoever afterwards. So I was kind of carrying extra, well, I won't call it baby weight, I'll call it KFC weight, we'll be honest. And, you know, was just kind of just in a spot where I was about to become a single mum. I was thinking about going back and retraining and getting my law degree up and running and just trying to figure out how I was going to be a single mum and support the kids. And also was kind of struggling with where I was at physically. And I just got a text message from a family member that was literally, you know, one of those text messages. Hey, we've been doing this nutritional cleanse system and blah, blah, blah. Why don't you come over for a barbecue and discuss it? And my initial reaction was to just slam them, but I didn't. I actually Googled Isogenics because they'd mentioned that in the text message. I found Jen and Jono's Millionaire Story. I watched it 15 times. I rung up and I went, right, if the products work, this is it. It's what I've been looking for. I'm pretty much jumping in and doing the business. And that's kind of what I did. I did an incredibly strict 90 days to start with because I really wanted to kind of put the product system to the test, you know, as we do, test it out, see if these guys know what they're talking about. And got amazing product results, fell in love with the products, and literally just really went from there. So kind of from day one, I took the business really seriously and really went to work to learn the business, to understand the tools, and kind of just listened to all the mentors and leaders, and whatever they said, I just went and did it, really.
Oh, you sound like the model cleanser.
I'm like that one of those mythical business builders that doesn't exist. I'm like a unicorn.
So, I mean, yeah, 300% business growth in the last year. Like, how have you made such a massive impact, you think, like in the last year? Have you created these leaders, and how have you like got your business from, like, it was good when I met you, but it's just absolutely exploded. And if you look at the, you know, people in Australia at the moment, they're not exploding at 300%, but you are. So what
Yeah.
are you doing?
So, and that's interesting because people kind of see me and they are a bit like, oh, wow, you've just come out of nowhere. But they don't see that 12 months beforehand.
Yeah.
So I was building for 12, and I'm on an inside kind of inside leg. As soon as I started building, no one ever got chucked under me. The person that enrolled me has never done the business. And so for the first 12 months, we were kind of really doing it on our own. And I've just got so much gratitude for that, because it absolutely made me step into a leadership role from day one, before I was ready, before I knew what I was doing. And I think that's really duplicated down into my team, which is, you know, people just step up into that leadership role very early on. So it took me 12 months to get to 1 star. So I didn't go at lightning fast. And then 18 months after that, I hit 5 star. And what I kind of look at, one of the main things we started doing at that 12-month mark, like we started doing 3-way calls. And that has literally propelled everyone's business into massive momentum. Like that's the one of the key things that we all started doing. Getting to events, again, we have a massive events culture in our team. All of the leaders in our team are prepared to invest time and money to get people to events. We're all prepared to actually invest money back into our business, because I fully believe this is $1 million business. So therefore, I'm happy to invest money back into it. And I did that even before I was kind of at the level where I could really afford it. So for 3-way calls, so just getting back to that, what we kind of found, I suppose, like myself, Joe Mould, other leaders in our team, we were all really good at enrolling people, but we weren't getting that duplication. And as soon as we started using 3-way calls, our team started enrolling people. So we started to get that depth a lot quicker coming through.
That's there's a big clue there. Yeah. So I mean, obviously using 3-way calls to help your team enroll, but what other uses, you know, why would you use a 3-way call?
We literally use them for everything. So and again, it's a learning tool, because it's the way that we teach our new people really, really quickly. So for any excuse that we can think of, we'll either get them on a 3-way call or 3-way Facebook message. And it's just so they can start to use the language and they can start to see what tools to send and stuff like that. So, you know, pre-enrollment, if it's just someone asking product questions, we'll just encourage them to put them in a 3-way Facebook message straight away, so they can start to see how that conversation goes. They can see what tools to send them. We use 3-way calls to do welcome calls as well. And again, to teach those new people how to do that welcome call. But what I find with new people is that they really have an attachment to the outcome when they're talking to someone, or they're talking to someone on that welcome call. So that a lot of the time, they don't want to kind of appear pushy or talk about how to get people's products paid for, or they just don't really know how to do it. And if you've got them on a 3-way call with someone they really resonate with, you know, I'm quite happy to talk about getting your products paid for on a 3-way call. The person might really resonate with me. I'm always going to find an opportunity to kind of pop my story in there as well. So it just makes it a lot easier to get those new people sharing the products. It just kind of normalifies everything, if that's a word. We use 3-way calls kind of as coaching as well during people's 30 days. If someone's got really amazing results, we'll get them on a 3-way call with someone just to give them a bit of a boost and to say, hey, you are doing so amazing, and to connect them with everyone in the team, so they start to understand that this is basically a big team. We're all working together. We've all got each other's backs. And they start to see the bigger picture as well. And then they start to kind of get engaged and involved on the cleanse pages and all that sort of stuff too.
Yeah, that's awesome. So using 3-way calls for, you know, building belief, using 3-way calls for enrolling, getting team to events, like absolutely any excuse, because you're leveraging your skills and your time and teaching people at the same time. So we're leveraging everyone's time. So
and it just gets that depth coming through so much quicker. Like that's the thing that I really struggled with the first 12 months. Yeah, I was enrolling people, you know, they were enrolling people, but that was it. You know, we were kind of only, everyone's businesses were only about 2 deep. And that's probably the key, like that, and actually just running consistent info sessions all over the place as well, which, I mean, really info sessions are kind of, they're just like a 3-way call, really. You're just getting people in front of someone else to share their story. It's that third party validation as well.
My team is so over me talking about launch parties.
Launch what?
So tell me, like, how are you getting your team to use them? I mean, I've done sort of training. This is my advice. We did a competition and 3-way calls went through the roof that week when I was offering cash. But how do you get your team to use them? Like,
and yeah, well, it's kind of the same. Like we're always doing training on it. We've actually got a 3-way call competition going this week with a bunch of leaders in our team. But it is kind of constantly just reminding people to do it. But I find as well, if people are enrolled on a 3-way call, they're just going to think that's what you do. So then therefore, when they're talking to people, they're going to get them on a 3-way call. So I think if you've kind of got people that aren't using them at all and you get them to do 1 or 2, then they really start to see the value in it. So that's kind of what I've done to a few of my people that are sharing products and maybe haven't been using them. I've literally said to them, right, this week you are getting me or someone else or Joe or Sarah McMinn or another one of the leaders in our team on 2 3-way calls, 2 or 3 3-way calls. And once they've done a couple, they kind of go, oh, I get it. That enrollment went so smoothly. You kind of answered questions I couldn't answer. So almost like kind of forcing them to do it to start with, and then they start to see the value in them as well.
Yeah, so you've just created a culture.
Very much so. So we've got like a little kind of PowerPoint training that we do on our team training calls quite regularly. And it really just becomes part of, and I use your language. So what we do next is we just get you on a call. What we do next, whatever the conversation is in a Facebook message, and we do find it quite a bit easier to get someone into a Facebook message and then take that onto a 3-way call. So I'm doing a 3-way call tomorrow for a girl that's really interested in the business, and that went into it, started on a Facebook message, and then I just chucked out a couple of times. Both girls were like, awesome, yep, we can do that. And again, I'll still do that as a 3-way call because I really want Ash to actually hear the 3-way call. So even if it's a 3-way Facebook message, I try not to just call the prospect. I still make it so that it is a 3-way call. So it's learning for, the new person as well.
Yes, that's kind of leading on to my next question. I know Chelsea's written it in the chat box as well, but I had it down as the next one to ask you. So can you give us an example? Like, I get this a lot, like, people, I don't think they understand how to invite onto a 3-way, and they make it awkward in their own head, and then it becomes like an awkward conversation. So can you give us an example of how you would invite somebody on a 3-way? So say you were doing a 3-way with me, Lara. You want to meet in a 3-way. Give me an example of how you would invite that person onto the call.
So you're the prospect, and I'm trying to get you on a call with, let's say.
No, you're trying to, I'm the expert or third party, and you've got a prospect. So give us an example of kind of how you would get that prospect on the call.
So what I tend to do, and what I kind of find quite effective, is get a time off them first without telling them they're going to be on a 3-way call. So, hey, let's have a chat about this. I'm free between 7 and 9 on Wednesday, or Friday between 1 and 3. What time suits you? They're going to give you a time. You lock it in, say, awesome, that'll be amazing. Let's lock that time in. Then I'll go away and I'll tee up Sarah McMinn to be on the call, right? I'll confirm the call the night before. And then what I do, and what we're getting a lot of our team to do that are a bit funny about it, about half an hour before the call, I'll just be like, awesome, Heidi, so looking forward to talk to you. What I'm just going to do is get Sarah to jump on the call, because she's got exactly the same results that you've got, and she'll be able to add so much value to the call and really help me figure out how we're going to get you to your goals. And then the call's in half an hour anyway. They've already said they can do it, and they're on a 3-way call.
Yeah, I love it.
So it's kind of, it's not weird. They've already locked in. They've already said they're free. You've already confirmed the call. You've got Sarah set up in the background, and it just, it's just like beforehand. Hey, don't know why I didn't think of this beforehand. Sarah's amazing. She's the Ice Body Queen. She's going to help us and have a chat about getting to your goals. So if you make it about them and why it's going to be valuable to them as well. We have had some people that literally set up the call, and they'll be on the call and they'll be like, hey, do you know what? I'm just gonna give my friend Lara a call because she's got exactly the same results, and I was just talking to her before I got on the phone. And again, just kind of pop them in the call.
Awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so how many 3-way, business has grown 300%. You're doing regular training. I know we really master the mundane, but how many 3-way calls are you having per week on an average?
It does vary. I'm happy when I've got 2 or 3 a day. Usually it's kind of 1 or 2, but the thing now is that it's duplicated so much down into the downline that Joe will be on 3 or 4 3-way calls. Sarah will be on 3-way calls. Susie will be doing 3-way calls with her team. So it's kind of like, I probably used to do a bit more, but because my leaders are all stepping up and they're all mastering the 3-way call, there's all of these 3-way calls going on in our downline constantly.
Yeah, so I love to break things down for my team in terms of their KPIs, and I always say, you should be at least doing, if you've got a small team, then 1 launch party a week, and then as your team grows, you need 1 on your left side, 1 on your right side, 1 for yourself, so you're aiming for 3 a week. So with 3-way calls, do you think it would be fair that they're doing 2 for themselves and 2 for their downline every week?
Well, yeah, and if you want to grow quicker, you just make it 4, because it's just a numbers game. It's literally, and that's what we've said to our guys this week, because we're actually doing a bit of a what's it called? We've kind of taken 8 of our leaders, and we're doing a bit of an 8-week intensive course with them, and kind of chucking lots of stuff at them to get out of their comfort zone. And this week it's 3-way calls. So we've basically said to them, every single day you need to be trying to get us on 3-way calls at least 2 or 3 times a day. And we've kind of included, getting us in front of people as well. So really work at just connecting. And if it's not a 3-way call, it's, I'm in Adelaide and I've got a lot of team in about 4 or 5 hours out of Adelaide. So their mission kind of the past 2 weeks has literally been to get me in front of people. So constantly kind of taking it that step further.
Awesome. So is that your thing? Do you think, why do you recommend, what's this question? I'm just trying to think a good way to word it. So when you're mentoring people, is this something, and I know you said you use my language with this is what we do next, when you're mentoring people, they're saying, look, I want to do this business. Are you recommending that they use 3-way calls as a main way to leverage and build?
Yeah, because it works. I don't do anything that doesn't work, pretty much. My whole philosophy is work smarter, not harder. And especially because my team is basically made up of mums, a lot of single mums, but pretty much mums. We have a few guys on the team, but it's basically mums. So it's all about really leveraging their time and leveraging my time and getting people trained up as quickly as possible. And it's just the fastest way to do it. I can't even remember who said, might have been Jay Bennett or something, that kind of everything that you should be, there should be 3 people involved. Otherwise you're missing a learning opportunity. So I'm kind of well, if he tells me to do it, then that's what I'm going to do, because he seems to know what he's doing.
Yeah, 20-star or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Yeah. Chelsea.
I was going to say someone in our team did a 3-way call the other day with one of our people in Colombia. So Joe doesn't speak Spanish, Laura speaks Spanish, and they were doing one with someone in Colombia. So the 3-way call had Laura translating Spanish in between them.
Of course. All right. Well, Chelsea's just asked a question. It does come up a lot. So you know, you have a cleanser and they've been using the products for a couple of months and she wants to help get them paid and share, but they're just not interested and they want to get their results first. What do you normally do?
Have they got really good results so far?
Yeah, they're getting some results. Yeah.
Are they getting like some results or really awesome results?
Chelsea.
Because I've got one for
some. She just put some results.
Yeah. So what, I mean, I've kind of got, I call it, I've got a subtle approach and I've got a not so subtle approach. So if someone's got, and this is how I got like Sarah McMinn to share, I got Joe to share, I've got a lot of the leaders in my team to share. And it's, you have to have a really good relationship with the person, and you have to have actually worked to build a good relationship with the person. Otherwise it can seem quite harsh. But like I literally just say to them, look, you've got amazing results. So they have to be getting really good results for this to work. But I say, you've got incredible results. You've got so many people on your Facebook that are miserable. So many women that hate themselves when they look at themselves in the mirror every morning. They're completely struggling. It's affecting their relationship with their partners. It's affecting how they're showing up as a mum. And you've found something that's really going to help them. And if you just post your results on Facebook, you're going to end up helping so many people that you'll actually be blown away. And I know it's going to be completely uncomfortable for you, but you know, let's do it together. You don't have to even put before and afters, but you just need to put a post about how you were feeling before and how you're feeling now. And I can guarantee that you're going to have a massive impact on someone's life. And I've found with that, it takes the money out of it. It takes them out of the equation, and it makes it all about other people. And most of the time they go, oh God, you're right, aren't you? It's like, yep, all right, let's kind of work out what we're going to say. So just kind of really changing the angle. But I've had some people that haven't started sharing until they've completed their ISA body challenge. And for them, that was it. They were just waiting to complete their ISA body challenge. And then they turned into really awesome product sharers. And other people, they literally waited until they had got their result. And, you know, I suppose whatever point someone is, it's fine as long as you're kind of with them all the way along, so that when they're ready, you're kind of there to hold their hand and help them out.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think you said something at the very beginning, and I talk a lot about this when I'm talking about building consultants, is the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you got to have tough conversations with people. And, you know, sometimes there's something completely different that's actually stopping them from sharing, that you would never even thought of, something that's just kind of completely out of the ballpark. And unless you've actually built that relationship, then, you know, and some people just won't. I think that's the other thing that we really have to accept too. Like some people they're just not going to share the products. They're just going to be absolutely happy to use them, but they're never going to share the products.
Chelsea's just asked another question for you, Lara. What percentage of your business is cold market?
Oh, well, it's freaking freezing in Adelaide at the moment, so it's all cold market. The first, when I started, a lot of my business was warm market. So I have been really good at enrolling my warm market. That's why we have such fun at events, because half the people in my team I've known for so long. Now I would say 90% of the people that I enroll are cold market. But I mean, when they kind of come into your life, they're cold market, but by the time you enroll them, they're actually warm market because you've built that relationship. But yeah, definitely 90% of the people that I enroll now are people that I did not know prior to Isogenics. I suppose that's a good way of explaining it. And they're people that I have actively tried to put in the system somehow. Is that kind of what you wanted to know?
Yeah. And I think that's with everybody. Like you practice on your warm market, and then it becomes, you know, like your warm market that are going to jump on board.
Exactly.
The others are just gonna watch you for a little while. So,
and it gets to the point where your warm market, you know, if my warm market doesn't know what I'm doing now, I'm either doing something wrong, or they're kind of, you know, they haven't flicked on Facebook for about the past 2.5 years. And that really, I always say, it kind of it's the big difference between like an this is just my opinion, but you're a product sharer until you start enrolling cold market. Like if you're just enrolling your warm market, you haven't kind of gone from a product sharer to a business builder yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like most people get product sharers and business builders completely confused and kind of treat them the wrong way. And it's when you kind of really start to get active and actively getting out there and making new connections and constantly be trying to add new people into your Facebook and cleanse groups and stuff like that. Kind of from my point of view, that's when you really become a business builder, because that's when the game changes, when all of the people that are nice and easy to talk to, you've kind of talked to most of them.
Oh, I love that. I've never heard that before. But
it's there you go. Don't steal it. Don't you steal it, Heidi. I'll patent it.
Yeah, because, it's so true. That is so true. And I never really thought of it that way. And I think that whole skill base of talking to someone cold market. So,
and that's when people kind of say, I've run out of people to talk to. They kind of mean I've run out of people that I know and who I'm comfortable, talking to.
Yeah. Oh, such a good analogy there. So are there any other questions for beautiful Lara before she... Oh, yep. My issue is to get cleansers to be happy enough to either invite people to a launch or host a launch. They generally say they're scared to push something. What can be so sensitive to people? Katrina, can you just unmute yourself and just kind of
maybe ask that question?
Yeah, I'm confused.
Sorry, I got my little child running around, so I'm kind of...
Oh, that's all right. We're used to that.
So I've got a couple of cleansers that have had some pretty amazing results, and they're really happy with the products, and we have a good relationship, but they're really scared to host a launch party. Or I've also obviously put myself out there and said, look, I can host a party at my place. Just invite people who you think would benefit from something like this. But they kind of get scared and they feel like, they say, I don't really want to push something that's so sensitive to people. That topic is so sensitive. I feel like I might be pushing it. You know what I mean?
What are they worried if they invite someone to an info session that person will think they're fat or something?
Yeah, something like that. Or, they might be hinting out something. And I'm like, well, if you, obviously put it in a way that it's helping you and you want to help as much people, it could benefit everybody at the end of the day. And they kind of like, I don't want to, I feel like I'm pushing them too much after that point. Does that make sense?
Yep. So, I mean, you can always go, what Jackson did to Alan Housinger, which is, well, how would you feel if I hadn't actually told you about this? Like, how would your life be if I hadn't told you?
Yeah, I've said that, and they go, yeah, look, I understand that, and I really understand, I really get that. I'm grateful that you've introduced me to it, and I feel fantastic, but they just don't feel comfortable yet, and I'm just trying to get over that barrier of them feeling comfortable enough. I don't know if maybe they don't feel confident enough in themselves and the results as yet, or
have they,
obviously belief in the product.
Have you got these people to like a Super Saturday or an event?
Not yet, no.
Okay. So
we don't get much Super Saturdays here in Victoria.
Where are you? Victoria. Well, there's an ISA uni in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I know we got the ISA uni. Yeah.
So I would probably see if I can get them to an event, because that's another massive thing that we've used to build, is get people to events, because it massively builds belief and kind of takes them to that next step. And look, we invite product users to events with no kind of expectation that they're going to start building, but we've had quite a few people that have just come along that have been product users that have just loved it and been started product sharing. And then we've also got like a lot of people that they're product sharers, and they're absolutely happy just being product sharers, and they do info sessions and they're on all the calls, and they're just happy little product sharers, and they still come to every event because they just love being part of the community.
I think,
yeah.
Can I interject there? And there's some few comments going on in the chat box, but I know you don't have many events, and this is another thing why I harp on about 3 ways and launch parties, because they're mini events. So, you know, in just and Jamie Bebbington put down a great thing about a lot of people are doing like 30-day celebration results. So if you did something once a month and you got those people to come and just like, look, I'm having a celebration event. They don't have to invite anyone there, but come and share their story and let other people celebrate them. It's going to build their belief. Everyone wants to get paid. I'll tell you that. 100% of people want their products paid for. Dave, you wrote a question. 20% of people will get their products paid for, will get to consultant. But that 80%, it doesn't mean that they don't want to be paid. It's a belief structure. Something is missing in their belief. And that's why, Katrina, you're not having them shout it from the rooftops. There's something in belief. There's belief probably more than likely in this stage in themselves and in network marketing. But if you can maybe like have celebration parties, even if they're online and they can celebrate their results and people can be congratulating them, that is massively building their belief.
And, you know, just changing the name to a tasting party, like that's been quite huge for a lot of people in our team. Like putting those pretty pictures up, making up some shakes, cutting up some bars, and it's a tasting party, which is a lot less threatening than a launch party or an info session. And, you know, you just have to go first and do them yourself. And if you're kind of doing them regularly and posting pictures up every week, the flow on effect is that it just kind of starts to seem like kind of normalifies it. But yeah, I'd maybe just change what you're calling it as well.
Yeah, we call it Champers and Shakes. So it celebrates. We do champers and shakes, and we do celebrate, taste, and inspire. So pretty much, we want to celebrate you and your success that you've had in your journey so far. We'd love for you to be able to obviously bring some people who you would want to celebrate with, want you to be able to obviously share your story and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So we do that once a month, and we also do Wellness Wednesdays as well with the community down here. But it's just, that's the part I'm struggling, because I know that if I can get people to launch parties, I know that it can be magic. Like, I know that. And it's just, I feel like I am running them and I am getting people saying they're coming, but then last minute they're obviously bailing out, but I still go ahead with it because I want to send it out that, yes, I'm going to keep doing this no matter what. You can keep knocking me down. I'm going to keep getting back up. But if I'm missing something, I'd love to hear. I don't know if there's anything else that you can shout out that can help me with that. That would be great.
I'm just thinking, I think Heidi kind of covered it with that, but I don't know, we just the like just inviting people really personally as well, and again, it's just kind of picking up the phone and kind of getting off the Facebook Messenger and all that sort of stuff, and actually just, you know, inviting them and telling them why you really want them to come and why you think it's going to really benefit them.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely, I just have to keep building their belief and just keep, I'll get into that, but thanks for that.
Yeah. Caroline just asked a question, and it does come up a lot. You know, people book these launch parties or book 3-way calls, and then people cancel at the last moment. So they cancel the call or they cancel the launch party. I'm just looking for the question because there's other stuff coming up. So she stayed an extra week up on the Gold Coast, and people said that they were coming and then they cancelled. I want to still do it anyway, but the people that she was doing it for cancelled. Do you have any advice there, Lara?
Well, we have people that, you know, people that cancel all the time, and what I basically say to them is, I just kind of say, well, I'm on my way anyway, so I'm coming, and if no one shows up, then we can sit down and have a chat, watch a couple of, you know, training videos, whatever, and we can just do a little bit of training ourselves. So I literally just say to them, look, I'm coming anyway. Let's just roll with it. Who knows who's going to turn up? And then at least it gives you a bit of time with your person to have a chat about stuff. maybe to do a little bit of business training, to at least post a photo of you two on Facebook having an awesome time, having your champers and your tasting and whatever. And then when other people see that on Facebook, they feel really bad for not coming. So when you invite them the next time, they do.
Yeah, it's just about staying consistent. I remember having a launch party here once, and one of my girls said, "Oh, where are all your people?" And I was like, "Oh, they all cancelled on me." And she's like, "Oh, well, if they cancel on you and you're an isogenics millionaire that's lost 30 kilos, then they're going to cancel on me." You know, so it was a great learning curve for her to be able to see they cancel on me too. Like, it's nothing a personal thing. It's just they just can't be asked sometimes. Like they need.
And I always, sorry, carry on.
No, that's good.
I was going to say, when I'm doing a new info session for someone, I always frame it for them too. I go, do you know what? People cancel all the time. You're going to have people cancelling at the last minute. Don't worry about it. I'm coming anyway. You know, if you can, bring another couple of associates. So even if everyone cancels, there's, you know, 3 or 4 of you sitting around having a chat, hanging out, and, you know, they're getting connected to other people in the team somehow.
Yeah. Awesome. So I think that, you know, the message is just to keep going and keep going and keep going. But I really want you guys to step it up with the old 3-way calls. Remember, you know, if you want to go plod along, it's 2 calls for you with prospects and 2 calls for your team that you're doing. If you really want to step it up, like Lara said, and run fast like she's been doing, 4 with your upline and your prospects, and 4 with your downline and their prospects, and help build that deep organization that we talk about all the time. Don't build wide, build deep. So I really thank you, Lara, for popping on the call. I know it's freezing. I know you've got kids running around. I know it's school holidays. I know it's state of origin.
State of what? I'm like originally a Kiwi. I don't know what state of origin is.
And I really thank everyone that jumped on the call tonight. I hope you got something out of it. I think if you got just one thing out of it, it's just do it, and it gets easier and it gets better, and we start to develop a culture that duplicates, and a culture that builds deep, and a culture that could hopefully increase your business by 300% this year. Wouldn't we all love that? I would love that. So thank you to everybody for popping on, and I'll pop the recording up tomorrow. Lara, I'll send you a link of the recording as well.
Oh, thank you.
Group.
See everyone. See it. Well, I might see some of you in Melbourne next weekend. Otherwise, at maybe Vegas or summer kickoff.
Thank you.
Full 6 weeks. See ya.
Thanks.
Thanks so
Lara.
much. Bye.
See ya.